Welcome back to the Explorers Challenge, a series where I try new things, learn new skills, and document the journey. Let's get into it. So today I wanted to learn how to make cordage. So if you don't know what cordage is, it's basically it's how you make rope out in the wild using like plant fibers. And it's no surprise to anyone that rope has a lot of applications in the wild and in modern life. So I think learning it would be a cool skill to have, and it shouldn't really be that hard. Okay, so there's a lot of plants here in this area of my garden. If you have watched my channel before, you'll recognize it, as I made a video about planting this garden and kind of all went to waste, but I learned actually quite a bit. So I'm thinking that something like this would be good. This plant right here. Now, it is kind of very thin, which would make it very hard to make a fiber out of it, but I think it's a good place to start. So I'm going to try to pull this out. Oh, that was easy. It came out really easy. Okay. So I'm going to use this to begin with. And if I can find a better plant, then I would use that. In my garden, there's actually just a bunch of like dead sticks laying around, as you can see, like here and right there. So if I do need something more, I can try to use those instead. But otherwise, let's look around and see if there's other stuff. There's whatever this is. It's like, yeah, this. I don't know what that is. It's been in our garden for a while. I am not well versed in botany, so, but it has to be some sort of decorative plant. I'm pretty sure it's a decorative plant. And looking elsewhere, there doesn't seem to be all that much. There's some celosia over there. I didn't realize that, but yeah, we still have. I wonder if our mint patch got overweeded. Is that dill? I don't know, but yeah. And if everything goes wrong, I'm just gonna go to an old-fashioned tree branch. So let's get started. Let's get started making cordage. Okay. Something else I wanted to do for my videos now is I just wanted to practice telling stories. So while I am doing these things, I'm going to try to I want to tell like a life story that happened to me, so that it's also more entertaining for you the viewer. But yeah, okay. So this is like, okay, I don't know if this is gonna work because this feels completely hollow. Yeah, like this is just bark. There's no stick inside. Okay. Okay. So I open it up. And is it this stuff that I want? No, I don't think it's that stuff. But I guess I'll just open up the whole thing and then maybe make my decision. I'm gonna tear this. It feels like styrofoam. That's what it feels like. The piss, the inside of the stick, it feels like styrofoam. Yeah, okay. I kind of forget what I'm supposed to be doing here anyway. Okay, I'm gonna have to check. But yeah, I might have to come back and like just get an actual plant that I can use, because this is not working. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe I have to go to the woods and then find something actual that I can use. So yeah, I'll look into it. Alright, so I'm going to be looking for some plants out in the woods now. It's been a day because I couldn't really find anything in my yard that would be able to be turned into cordage. And if I can't find anything in here, then I'm just going to grab a bunch of long grass and just try to make it that way. But yeah, in the meantime, walking in the woods, and hopefully I will be able to find something. Yeah, forgive me, it's kind of dark right now. But while I am searching for milkweed or dogbane or whatever plant I need for cordage, I will tell you a story about something that happened to me recently. And this is just to practice my storytelling skills, because I've been meaning to also work on those too, so that I can, well, tell better stories at like the dinner table. So I was one night after coming home from swimming lessons, and this was recently. I've been taking swimming lessons recently because I never got them, and it's really important to get them. So after coming home, it was pretty late, because swimming lessons, they always do stuff at like 7 p.m. or something, so it was pretty late. I was getting hungry, and there was no I just wanted something easy to eat because there was no food at home, and you know how that goes. And then also I wanted to eat, of course, but I didn't want to go out of my way to cook something, or I just wanted something easy. So what I did is I started driving to McDonald's. It's a McDonald's. It's like 5 minutes away from me. So I put on my Google Maps, because, like, I don't know, that's just what kids do nowadays. That's Gen Z. We just put Google Maps for everything, because it kind of feels like a security thing. Like, oh, if I do get lost or take a wrong turn, then Google Maps will show me the way back, and I won't have to like be in the middle of traffic bugging everybody. So I did that. And I was driving to this McDonald's, and as I'm driving there, I just realized, like, I'm driving kind of recklessly. Like, I feel if I could imagine what drunk driving felt like, that would be it. And here's the thing, I didn't drink anything. I was just hungry and maybe a little tired and a little loopy. But, you know, for the most part, I was fine. And I guess the sunset didn't help either. I was getting pretty tired. But yeah, I was driving to the McDonald's, and I get there safely without any incident. The road to McDonald's is a little bit weird. There's like 2 roundabouts or whatever, but I managed fine, and I get there. And and as I'm there, I'm pulling up to the drive-thru, and then just in like this moment of impatience, I just decide, okay, as I'm pulling into this drive-thru, I'm going to set my Google Maps destination for home. And at the same time, I'm not going to stop or anything. I'm just going to keep driving forward. So I'm looking down at my phone, my right hand, setting my Google Drive, and I'm like, okay, so it felt like I was going super slow, right? But I was actually driving like 5 miles an hour, which is pretty slow, but when you're in a parking lot, that's a big thing. And I was setting my destination. I decided to look up, thank goodness, and I just see that. No, that's not what happened, actually. I was driving to my destination, and then I immediately hit a bump or something, and I start hitting my car scrape. So I immediately look up, and I'm like driving right into a light pole. So, you know, I slam brake like usual, and and I realized that I drove onto the curb and almost hit the light pole. Now, I don't think I did hit that light pole, because, you know, there's like a distance where you can just tell you didn't hit something. But that wasn't gonna help me this time, because okay, so that'll just come into the play later. But for now, I backed up. You know, luckily there's no one behind me. There was one other car in the driveway, and you know, I just looked really embarrassed, and I looked at them, and I thought they were looking at me, judging me or something. And that's fair to them if they were, because I just ran into the light pole, or almost ran into the light pole. But I scraped my car on the curb pretty nastily. And so what happened was, I was driving home. I still picked up my McDonald's. I was driving home, and I had like this I was so embarrassed. I had a massive bruised ego, and I just couldn't. I just wanted to get home as quickly as possible so I could like just get into my bedroom and just like crumble into a ball. And as I'm driving home, I noticed, or there's like this weird bump 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 noise that's happening when I'm driving, and I'm like, oh dear. So I turn to a road, and then I pull over and I check it, and there is indeed bumper damage, but I didn't look to the extent of it. I just saw like a crack on my bumper, like, oh boy, here we go. So then I drove home, and this whole time there's just this bump 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 as I'm driving, and like I just wish that I could disappear or die right then and there. Because I don't know, there's like this huge secondhand embarrassment that's happening. So I finally get home. I pull into the driveway, and I'm like, what do I do? Because at this point, I'm tempted to not mention it, right? To not say anything, because I'm not the real owner of the car that I drove. So, but then as I was doing this, I was just started digging into my McDonald's, and I was just questioning myself, like, was this even worth it? Like, I'm just eating it, and it tastes so bland compared to like the stress that I just received. And then there's this, like, I just noticed it very clearly that there was this childish response, like, okay, I should hide it, or I should pretend like it didn't happen, or just say nothing. But then obviously, like, something did happen, and if I were to do that, like, my family would lose trust in me, because it's very obvious that damage happened to the car. And and what was I gonna say? Oh, somebody just threw something at the car, or like, oh, I don't know how that happened. No, I'm not gonna say that. So I just like sigh. I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna go to my sister's room. I say, hey, the car, something happened with the car. And she's like, what? Or she's just like, what happened? Yeah. And then everybody heard about it, and I was basically telling them, exactly what I'm telling you now. Of course, I didn't mention that I went to McDonald's or here's the thing, I said I hit the curb, but they might have thought, it was just a bad turn or something, but no, it was just my negligence. And then as they started filing the claim, that's, I spilled more beans casually without them, I guess. Well, it's not like they were complaining that I was being too open or not transparent enough, but yeah, it really, that day my ego was just bruised and I couldn't do anything. Yeah. And like for the next week, I just did not drive at all because I was so embarrassed. But yeah, that's a story of when I almost ran into the McDonald's light pole. And let me tell you, I'm probably never gonna drive to that McDonald's ever again. If somebody's driving there, it's gonna be... Oh yeah, one more thing, like, I was just terrified that I actually did hit the light pole. I kept gaslighting myself into believing that I hit the light pole. And I'm just like expecting a call from the police. Like all this childish stuff, like, oh, they got me on security camera. And I'm like, oh no. Hey, you have to come in, or we're finding you because you fled the scene or something like that. But yeah, next time, or the moral of the story, kids, is do not Google Maps and drive. And if you are going to do that, at least keep your phone at eye level somehow, so that you don't end up completely screwing yourself. And if you are looking at your phone, you have to be stopped. Do not keep moving forward when you're looking down at your phone, because you're gonna embarrass yourself like I did. Alright, you're gonna embarrass yourself. So anyways, that was a story, and I hope you enjoyed it. I guess I got so caught up in storytelling that I stopped looking out for what I was supposed to be looking for. And at this point, I'm just tired of looking, so I'm just gonna go and find a bundle of grass, rip it out, and then I'll show you how to tie it into cordage. I will be right back. So I'll just grab as much grass as I can. Whoops. Yeah. And then, whoops, let me cut this off, because this one was, or I'll just skip this one, whatever. Okay, so what you do, either just twist in one direction, twist in the other direction. Alright, and you keep doing that. And then, oops. You have to like have your hands really far, like start moving your hands outwards. But as you do that, you then, whoops. Okay, you have to keep twisting both at the same time, but like, yeah. You would keep twisting both ends of the rope, and it would just naturally go around each other. Now, I still didn't grab all that much rope. Right? But what we have here is still pretty strong, I would say. And here's the nice thing, I can just leave it and it won't untie because all the friction it has. And you try to rip this thing apart, that's pretty strong stuff. It stays, and the idea is that when you have more grass, you would just keep adding to this side and keep twisting over and over. But yeah, this is, well, it's not cordage actually, this is just grass rope. Yeah, I couldn't find plants that need to make cordage, but still, it's a very simple technique. You just twist opposite directions, and then once you get enough of a fold, you have to get a feel for it. Once you get enough twist, then you bend it in half, and then you start twisting it, and it should naturally just twist around each other, the strands, and then you get a really tough rope, right? It may not look like it, but like, yeah, I can't break that. And this is just one piece of the rope. So yeah, that is how you make cordage / grass rope. I'm just gonna call it grass rope because it's grass and not real cordage. But hey, simple grass, and you can make rope that's pretty tough. That could be very useful in a survival situation. So that was a pretty fun challenge, or just honestly the biggest challenge of that was just getting the grass to begin with, or just finding the right kind of plant, because all you really just do is you just twist it against each other, and you keep doing that. After you do that for a while, you just bend it together, you bend the twists together, and then you keep twisting in the same directions, and it will just naturally wrap around each other, and you get some pretty strong thread that way, pretty strong rope. So yeah, that was making cordage, and I hope you enjoyed the story I told in the forest. It ended up being pointless going there because I could have just gotten this grass from my home, but that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of the Explorer's Challenge.